Welcome back, everyone. Ready to dive into some more A Course in Miracles.
Always ready.
So we're looking at lesson 17 today, right?
Right. No neutral thoughts, no neutral things.
Whoa, okay, right off the bat.
I know.
That's a pretty bold statement. No neutral thoughts. So, like, every single thought I have is shaping my world somehow.
Well, that's what the Course is suggesting, yeah.
So it's not just that I'm, like, reacting to the world around me. It's that my thoughts are actually creating the world I experience.
Yeah. Basically, it flips the script on how we usually think about perception.
Okay. Help me out here a little.
Sure, yeah. So normally we think we're just seeing the world as it is.
Right.
But A Course in Miracles suggests that we're actually projecting our thoughts onto everything. And that's how we create our own reality. It's not that there's no objective world out there. It's more like we're always looking at it through the lens of our own thoughts and beliefs.
So it's kind of like I'm wearing a pair of colored glasses.
Exactly.
And those glasses are my thoughts, and they're changing how I see everything.
Yeah, perfect analogy.
Okay, I think I'm starting to get it.
Yeah.
But how do I actually put this into practice?
Well, lesson 17 actually gives us a really cool exercise to help us understand this concept.
Okay, tell me more.
So it basically says, look at things around you, just ordinary things, and pay attention to the thoughts that come up. Like, just notice them.
Okay, so like I look at a chair and I think, ugh, that chair is so ugly.
Exactly.
And I'm not supposed to like force myself to think it's beautiful.
No, the point isn't to change your thoughts.
Oh, okay.
It's about becoming aware of them.
So I just notice that I'm having this judgment about the chair, but I don't try to fight it or change it.
Right. Because the first step to shifting our thought patterns is simply to recognize that they're there.
Okay, that makes sense. But there's something in the lesson that's really tripping me up.
Oh, yeah.
It talks about how we haven't seen anything really alive and joyous yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to admit, some days joy feels pretty far off.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
So how does becoming aware of my judgments about a chair help me experience more joy in my life?
Well, the Course is suggesting that our perception is often clouded by judgment and negativity.
Okay.
And when we're caught up in those negative thoughts, we're not really able to see the world as it truly is.
Yeah.
And that's why we don't experience the joy that's actually inherent in everything.
So it's like I'm so busy judging and criticizing everything that I'm missing out on the beauty and the good stuff.
Exactly.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
I remember this one time I was convinced that my coworker was giving me the cold shoulder.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, why is she ignoring me? What did I do? But then it turned out she was just going through a tough time with her family. And I had just totally projected my own insecurities onto the situation.
That's a perfect example. You see how those unobserved thoughts can really color our world.
Totally. I guess I never really realized how much power my thoughts actually have. It's kind of overwhelming.
It can be, yeah. It's like we're constantly telling ourselves stories about the world.
And then we believe those stories as if they're true.
Exactly. But the good news is, once we start to recognize those stories for what they are, just thoughts, we can start to create space for a different way of seeing. And that's where the joy comes in.
Okay, that makes sense. But how do I actually do that? It's like this inner critic in my head. It's pretty loud.
I hear you. And that's why the Course emphasizes consistency. It suggests doing this exercise of observing your thoughts several times a day, every day. And the more we practice, the easier it gets to catch those negative thoughts before they spiral out of control.
So it's like building a muscle.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
So the first step is just noticing the thoughts without judgment. Then what?
Well, then it becomes about choosing a different thought, a thought that's more in line with what we want to experience.
Okay. So instead of thinking, ugh, that chair is so ugly, I could try thinking, that chair is serving its purpose.
Exactly. Or even just, that's a chair. You don't have to force yourself to love it.
So I'm not trying to become some kind of positivity robot.
No, not at all. It's more about becoming aware of the power of our thoughts and choosing thoughts that are more helpful and supportive.
And that will lead to more joy.
It can, yeah. Because when we shift our thoughts, we shift our experience.
Wow. This is powerful stuff.
It is. And it's something that takes practice.
Yeah, I'm realizing that. But it feels like it's worth the effort.
It definitely is.
So as we wrap up, I just want to recap what we've talked about. Our thoughts have a huge impact on how we see the world.
Right.
And by becoming aware of our thoughts and choosing more positive ones, we can start to experience more joy and peace in our lives.
Exactly. And as you continue exploring Lesson 17, think about this.
Yeah.
If you could choose one thought to make totally neutral, which would it be?
Ooh, that's a good one.
And how might neutralizing that thought change your world?
I'm definitely going to be pondering that one. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into A Course in Miracles.
My pleasure. Until next time.
Keep observing those thoughts, everyone. And remember, you're not your thoughts. You're the one observing them.
That's a great reminder.
See you next time.
Bye.